This episode is brought to you by the Boneyard Huskies Club. The Boneyard Huskies Club empowers UConn student athletes while providing UConn fans with access to exclusive community, utility, and rewards. Purchase of collectibles featuring your favorite student athletes directly supports the athletes since they receive a majority of the revenue. For more information, go to boneyardhuskiesclub.com. That's Huskies with a YZ at the end. All right. Joining us now with a new introduction here, we've got a national champion joining us, Alex
Yeah,
Karaban. So, Alex, welcome and congratulations.
thank you once again. Thank you.
So, obviously, got a lot to talk about. Usually, I like to start with my questions because I think they're pretty good, but I got to start with the one that came in online the most frequently. Like my mentions were blowing up with this one, so we might as well get it out of the way early. And that's, are you going to shave?
Um, See, I've been thinking about it, and then I'd look at like the pictures of me like earlier in the year without the beard. I'm gonna trim it. I could finally trim it at least. I wasn't trimming it before and stuff, but I could finally trim it. So I'm gonna trim it, but we'll keep it for now.
All right, there we go. People have their answer. So we got that one out of the way. So hopefully you still want to listen to the rest of the episode. But so let's, I mean, just take me through. I mean, you talked about a Final Four national championship, all the pageantry and everything that goes with that. What was the experience like before we even talk the basketball part of things?
It was amazing. I mean, even like before playing against Miami, just the environment of everything, the celebrations that we went through, the fan fest, the media, like even the practice that we had on the court, it was just all like just unbelievable. It was just a great surprise and really like a great celebration for what we had accomplished so far. And it really took a lot. I feel like it took a lot of stress off people, it took our mind off everything. We just really wanted to enjoy what we earned for the 2 days the 2 days before the Miami game. So it was awesome. I mean, the environment was crazy. There's nothing else like it. I mean, walking into that football stadium, it was it was crazy. Then finally being able to walk the steps up on the lifted court that like you'd always see on TV was special.
Yeah. Was it weird being on that raised court?
Yeah, it was. I'm not gonna lie, it was.
Before you even got out there, as a Massachusetts guy, was it cool getting to fly out on the Patriots plane?
I kept saying it's the greatest NFL franchise out there, and we got to fly on their plane. I know people may disagree with that, but for me, it was awesome.
Yeah, Tristan couldn't have gotten Aaron to send you guys the Packers plane to go with it, or what?
No, he couldn't do that.
So I mean, going back to the game, I know talking about some of the festivities and all of that around it. You get on that court in the football stadium for the first time. What's it like? I mean, I know everyone talks about how it kind of throws off your perception a little bit trying to shoot. What's it like being on there and kind of going through that for the first time?
Yeah, at least for the shot thing, it definitely can throw off your perception, but I think after like first 5 or 10 minutes, you just treat it like any other basket. But it's amazing. I mean, the lights are on you, the just like looking around, you see all like they had like a little like screen of like all the teams that were in March Madness, and then just the jumbotron that's right in the middle, and then just the speakers, like everything really was just so cool. And it really felt like you were the spotlight of the show, like you were right in the center. You had 70 something thousand people looking at you while you were playing basketball, which is something I never thought of, like in an in-person
Yeah.
environment. And it was just an amazing, like really, like I don't think there's gonna be a better court to play on, except for Gamble and XL, of course. But you know,
I like that. How is it hearing the crowd on a court like that? In a game, hearing 70,000 people cheering and all that stuff.
yeah, that's something I won't forget. Just the crowd, especially like UConn Nation, did show out, and they were amazing out there. Especially like even in the open practice, that's when we first kind of experienced it all,
Yeah,
and the UConn fans there. But then when we had the Miami fans there too, and the San Diego State fans there too as well, it just really amplified the moment. It really just made the game feel so much more important. And it was loud in there. It was definitely loud in there, and I mean, it really couldn't be a better environment.
So what's it like on a, I'll take the first game in the Final Four. So what is that day like for you? Obviously, you guys are the second game, so you got to wait around for a little bit. So what's it like? What are you doing in that time getting ready for your game?
It's so long. It was probably that game and the national championship game was the longest days I've ever had because I think that game was around like 8 o'clock maybe. I think it started even later because of the first game, and then
Yeah, I think, yeah, 8 o'clock the time out there. Yeah.
yeah, so we'll wake up. We'll get a good night's sleep. We'll wake up around like 11, and then eat breakfast, watch some film, and then go to shoot arounds for like an hour that they gave us on the court. And then after that, nap. I'll nap the whole time. I'll be on my phone. I'll be doing recovery. I'm just like, you just get so bored. Like it's insane how bored you get, and like you're just waiting, waiting. I kept looking at the screen, like when's the time? When's the time to go? It's finally time to go. So we go to the locker room. I get prepped, get my ankles taped, stretch, all that stuff. We'll review the scout again. Coach will talk to us, and then there was 1 minute left on the clock, so we were waiting to get on the court. We were standing out there for probably 40 minutes. It was the worst experience I ever had. It was
Did did
horrible.
did you get to see the buzzer beater in the game before you, whether it was on the screen or as you're waiting to head out onto the court? You get to see that at all, or you just completely dialed in on your game coming up?
I was dialed in, but I heard it was close. So one of our GAs had it on their screen, but it was like delayed 15 seconds. So it was like they got the rebound or something when we were watching. We just heard everyone scream, and I was like, all right, we know what happened.
Yeah.
So it was crazy though.
So you get out there, take us through that game against Miami. I mean, you going up against a team that won the ACC regular season. You know they're a really good team. They've got some really pesky guards. They've got another big guy who's good. So what's your thoughts heading into that matchup? And then how did Miami compare to, what you had thought of them heading into the game?
Yeah, we knew that defense would be the number one thing when playing against Miami. I mean, they had like a top five offense going into the game. They had Isaiah Wong, Nigel Pack, Jordan Miller, who are all tremendous one-on-one players. And then their supporting cast around them too is really perfect for them. So they're a really good one-on-one team. They try to get at you. They try to pick you up a little bit on defense, and they really try to make it a fast game. Momentum plays were big for them, and they just want to get up and down. So we knew that we had to stick to our identity, play at our pace, and really defense set the tone to where we couldn't leave everyone by themselves. It had to be a team collective, and we really did a good job of that. And it wasn't surprising that they were ACC champs. I mean, they're they're more than capable of making it to the Final Four, so there's no surprise seeing them there.
When we've talked about it a number of times on the podcast, you and your knack for hitting shots at the buzzer heading into the half. Did it feel a little, I don't know, I'm trying to think of the right word here, but like just a different feeling hitting that at the Final Four, knowing like the magnitude of that game and the shot you hit really giving you guys some momentum, even more momentum going into the half?
Yeah, that was my easily my favorite clutch halftime shot that I had. I mean, having it at the Final Four was awesome. It was really special to me. And then the best part of it all was I watched the replay of that shot, and I seen Jordan Hawkins on the baseline put his
Yeah,
hands up
he's got his
already.
hands up. Yeah.
That was the best part for me. And then Tristan, of course, with the great pass. But when Jordan put his hands up, even before I even shot it, I was like, all right, that's pretty cool of him.
Speaking of Jordan there, what was it like around all the buzz around that game, knowing, he was a little bit under the weather. It seemed like some bad calamari down there. So how do you guys feel and kind of take that in, knowing that, key piece might not be 100% heading into that game?
Yeah, I think that we found out the day before the game that he was sick, so it was kind of tough not to have him around during practice, shoot around, and we really didn't have any updates on him when we were playing, like practicing and all that stuff. So it's kind of nervous, anxious just to find out his health. And then when we got back, we heard that he was doing a lot better and that the doctors were with him a lot. So it was good to hear that. And then seeing him at breakfast was a big sign of relief, just
Yeah.
for him to have the ability to get up and walk after that stomach thing that he had. So like once I saw him at breakfast, I knew he was going to play, And I knew even like the day before, I had a gut feeling he was going to play because I
Yeah.
know he didn't want to miss this moment. So it was just relieving to see him function. So,
Yeah.
but a lot better than it was.
I mean, you saw it in the Miami game again in the San Diego State team. Whenever, and I think you saw it a couple other times throughout this tournament, when you guys were up it and the other team tried to make a run, you guys always seem to have that just extra kill shot in you guys to really deflate them. What's the mindset as that team is making a run against you guys, where you guys are able to, just kind of pull it together and be like, we're not letting them back in this game and we're going to put them out of it right now.
Yeah, I'd say it's the trust and confidence that we have in one another. We know it's a game of runs. We know we'll make our run, they'll make their run, and we just got to stay composed and stay together as a team. We can't let those runs affect us, and I think we've done a really good job of that, especially in March. And then we learned a lot from it in January. I mean, we had a bunch of close games to where a team would go on a run in January, we would feel deflated and we feel like we couldn't come back. And I think having those in January really helped us to where we responded perfectly against San Diego State, responded perfectly against Miami to where we were able to throw a punch back at them and secure the win.
What's it then like going from beating Miami? Now you've got a really quick turnaround to prepare for a national championship game. I know you guys have quick preps in throughout the season, but the magnitude of this one, knowing that this is the national championship and that's what you're going. So what's it like in those 24 plus hours heading into that game?
Yeah, honestly, I think once everyone stepped in that locker room for the Miami game, I think everyone just flipped the switch. There wasn't really much celebration in that locker room.
Yeah, it
It
seemed
was
like coach was pretty like even keel. Like we expected to
yeah,
be here. Like
he was. And like for me personally, I think winning the game against Gonzaga was more and like we had more enthusiasm and we're happy after that game because it's like it felt like an accomplishment. And then of course beating Miami was an accomplishment, but making to the national championship, I think our hunger for that just increased by 1,000 and everyone just wanted that so badly. So we got back, we did scout right away. We watched some film on them and then Coach Murray and Coach Hurley that was Coach Murray's scout. He kind of just gave a rundown on San Diego State and told us, what to expect and to like kind of sleep on the idea that we're kind of getting a head start on them.
Yeah. When you look at that game, obviously going into it, I think everyone knew that San Diego State's a physical team. They're going to try to, break you down with really tough defense. How physical were they now that you've played them and gone up against them?
Very physical, at least from the forward standpoint. It was very physical for
Yeah.
me. I had to box out every possession. I tried, boxing out them multiple times. I could have done a way better job of that. And then their forwards were terrific. I mean, Coach Hurley told us that they're super old, older than like 5 NBA teams I heard, which was
Yeah.
like insane. And then their experience, which comes with their age. So it was super physical indeed, and that's like it's kind of like a practice, like kind of how we are in practice, just super physical with each other, and
Yeah.
we felt prepared for it.
So you kind of take that first 4 minute stretch of the game. They come out firing. You guys are matching them relatively close there, but I think at the first media timeout they're up a few. What's it like in that huddle at that first break there? Is it hey, we withstood their first punch there, like let's punch back and get into it, or what are the thoughts like during that huddle?
Yeah, I think it's exactly that. I think we were able to stand up against their first punch. We knew to continue to trust the game plan. We knew to continue to trust the scout, even though some of their players made tough shots. And we knew if we were able to stay with their first punch, we believed that they couldn't stand with ours. So then when we threw that punch, it really opened things up. And, we knew like if we could respond to their punch, then once we get a lead, I think it's hard to come back from us in March.
I'm curious because from a fan standpoint, and as you're listening to the broadcast, every couple minutes, Jim Nance would be reminding us that you've held them scoreless for X amount of minutes here without a field goal for this. Is that something you're able to pick up on, like while you're out there playing? Like, hey, they haven't scored in a while. Like, we haven't given up a field goal, or are you just like so in the flow of the game that you don't even pick up on something like that?
I never picked up on it. I think it really is we're in such a flow that we really just don't want them to score, and I don't think we realize. And I think we're just in the joy of just playing a transition offense, seeing what
Yeah.
type of passes Andre can make for us, and just seeing him push the ball. And that's when we have our most joy on the court, I believe. And it all starts with the defensive end. So every time we get a transition bucket, we want more and more. So we know we got to get that stop. And then I watched the replay of it too, and I didn't realize it was 10 minutes. So
Yeah.
that was I should have done a better job of that realizing during the game. But no, it's just fun to get the transition buckets, and it starts with the defense.
So you guys are, kind of on, I don't want to say cruise control, but you've got a nice, comfortable margin there. I know Coach Hurley went into the halftime telling Tracy Wolfson there that you guys should be up 20 or so. He wasn't quite thrilled with what the lead was there. What was that halftime like?
It was exactly that. I mean, he's told us we should be up 20. We missed too many layups. We let them get too many rebounds, and we honestly believe that we didn't play our best brand of basketball. We felt like we made some simple mistakes and some small details that were very fixable to get that 20-point lead, which in that case, we believe that every point matters, which it did end up
Yeah.
mattering when they started to come back. So we just had to be better with that.
They make that run and cut it to, what was it? I think 5 with about 5 or 6 minutes left in
Yeah.
the game. What's the feeling at that point when, it went from it being a pretty comfortable margin to now you're in a little bit of a game here with a number of minutes left?
Yeah. I mean, being honest, it felt a little nervous just because it is a national championship game, and we didn't want it to end like that. But at the same time, we have the confidence and trust, and really just we stayed together. I mean, that's the most and that's the best thing you could do. Like I said earlier, we learned from our January how to respond to that, and it is really a game of runs, and we really showed that. And Hawk made a big time three that
Yeah.
really relieved a lot of pressure off us offensively, and I think that three got us right back to where we were when we went on that run to open up the game. So, but yeah, we knew that we were fine. We just had to stay together.
I'm going to take a quick break from the interview to tell you about my friends at Martin Rosol's Meats. This fourth-generation Connecticut family business produces kielbasa, hot dogs, sausages, and deli meats using Martin Rosol's very own original recipes. Their products can be found in grocery stores, delis, restaurants, and hot dog stands throughout the state. And if you're looking for your fill right away, check out their retail store in New Britain. For more information, visit martinrosolsinc.com and go support a UConn fan-owned business. And now, back to the interview. Was there a moment in that game where it hit you when you're like, hey, we're about to win the national championship here?
Yeah, I felt like when they started foul, I think it was at like the minute 27 mark, they fouled Tristan. I was like, yeah, we're national champs. And then when Coach Hurley called the timeout, we kind of celebrated a little bit more. Then when he brought out the starting five, it was like, all right, we did it. But it didn't even really hit there because we were saying to ourselves, yeah, we're national champs, but I think we were all just still feeling a shock, really.
What's then the post game celebration and all of that stuff like? Getting to go cut down the nets, you're up on the stage with Jim Nance and everyone, then
Mm-hmm.
going back and seeing everyone at the hotel. So what's that whole experience like?
A dream come true, really. Just seeing the confetti fall. Jim Nance, who legendary commentator, talking to us, congratulating us, then lifting up the trophy together as a team, cutting down the net. That was special. That felt more special than the Final Four one because that was just we
That's
know no
it. Yeah.
one left. That's it. No one's left. And then just going back and seeing the fans too who supported us throughout the entire season was amazing. I mean, they flooded our hotel. Our hotel was packed. I mean, barely any room to walk in. It was crazy. And then the locker room was amazing too, blasting music, just really like our hard work really did pay off, and just the teammates that we had, like the chemistry that we had with one another, just the love that we had for one another was amazing, and it really showed in that locker room.
I've got to ask. I know it's like been out there, and I'm not sure 100% if this is true or if it's just myth that has taken on what people think is true. But it's been said that Jim Nance gives someone his tie after these national championship games? Did anyone get the tie?
See, I seen that TikTok today too about it, and I forgot to ask. I don't know who got it. I heard it's a senior that gets it. So
Okay.
I would assume it was Tristan that got it. I'm gonna find out and let you know because I was actually curious on who got it too.
All right, we got to get to that.
Yeah.
I actually want to talk about Tristan because I feel like throughout the year he got a lot of unwarranted criticism that maybe he wasn't a point guard, and I think if you watch this tournament run and if you watch the season in general, you should see that he's more than a point guard. But he really showed it off in that national championship game. Talk about your point guard here for a few seconds here and the job he did.
He's a point guard. We're getting that clear straight away. He is a point guard. He is the best point guard to have. I mean, I've never heard of someone. I don't know. Like I don't know how you don't call Tristan a point guard when he's had
Never made sense to me.
when he has multiple triple doubles and 8 assists against Miami, but he's not a point guard though. But no, he's been amazing. I mean, he really adapted to Coach Hurley's culture, his style throughout the entire year, and he's grown a lot. He's changed a lot to where he changed himself to help the betterment of the team. And when he started to do that, he really started to show his talents and his true skills as a player. And he was key for us. I mean, multiple teams thought that they could pressure us and stuff, and he really battled against that pressure and really showed his toughness to get through that. And it's hard for point guards to do that. It's hard to get pressed 94 feet every game and then have to face it again the next day against another team. So it's just a credit to him. He's grown a lot as a leader too. He's leading out there in the court. He's using his voice a lot more, and it's just his passion for the game too. He just loves this game so much, and he just loved this team so much too. And he really was the perfect fit for point guard for us.
We've talked about Andre a lot on here. I've just got to ask about one player in particular where he throws down that transition dunk and he's like horizontally parallel with the basket there. Did you see that photo? Because I think that's like one that's got to go up in the practice facility wall or something.
I did. It's what he does on the basketball court is insane, and it's not the first time that we've seen him horizontal like that. He's done it multiple times in practice as well.
Yeah, I mean, you pull that out in the Final Four though. Like that's when you hit the legendary status there. All right, we'll get to some of these quick ones now that came in. I've got a couple quick ones for you here as well. Now that the season's over, looking back, who was the toughest opponent from in your perspective that you guys had to go up against throughout the whole year?
Ooh, that's tough. I'm gonna throw Creighton up there just because they've been a good matchup for us.
Yeah.
I'll throw Marquette up there. They deserve the credit that they did this season. Um, hmm. Xavier, of course. Xavier.
Yeah.
So that one still stings, but it's all right.
Then
We're national champs. It's all right.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. They could have the January wins. That's fine.
Yeah.
Then if you had to say who did you find was the toughest matchup for you in the tournament? And I know it could be tricky to say when you guys went on such a dominant run and have the margins that you did, but who from your perspective was the toughest out during this run?
Yeah. I'd probably say either Gonzaga, Miami, or San Diego State, really. Gonzaga's offense was number one in the country, so we didn't know what to expect. And their fast play, well, I mean, it's really hard, their offense. Miami, one-on-one wise, they have great one-on-one players, so we really lock in there. Then San Diego State, I think their experience was just going to be a battle, and their physicality as well for the last game.
All right, let's see what else we got here from our social media friends. Oh, I like this one.
I'm gonna throw St. Mary's in there too. My bad.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say all of them. St. Mary's as well, from their slow pace and their great defense. I forgot about them.
Yeah, and you got to mention Iona because we don't want Rick Pitino taking out any vengeance.
Iona did they were beating us in the first half. You can't forget about that.
Yeah.
And then Arkansas, their pressure started to get to us as well. So all of them were great matchups.
This one came in. I like this. During the San Diego State game, what was going through your head when your shoe fell off?
I was nervous and scared, I'm not going to lie, because I didn't know when the possession was going to end and how much longer. So I threw the pass to Dama. He missed the shot. We're running back in transition defense. I'm like, oh no, what's going to happen? So I found the guard to match up with, and then my shoe. He didn't pass to him. I went to get the rebound. I missed the rebound. I blame it on the shoe. Could have gone it with two of my shoes. The coach's staff telling me to get that rebound. I was like, I'm trying. It's my shoe. I didn't have another shoe. I made that excuse. I pulled that excuse out the book, and then it got tipped out of bounds by like Joey or someone. So I think Joey saved me to get my shoe back.
Did you know while the game was going on against Miami that Nigel Pack had lost his, like, he blew out his shoe and they didn't have another one for him, and they were like going back and forth trying to get him another pair of shoes?
I did not, and I was laying in bed. Once again, TikTok told me this, and I
Yeah.
found out before I went to bed, and I told DC, and I was like, DC, you know Nigel Pack didn't have another pair of shoes? He's like, he did. No one knew.
Yeah, one of the crazy ones there. Another part that was really cool about this Final Four run is bringing together a lot of the UConn alum. Who are you most excited to get to meet and chat with this past weekend?
Yeah, I loved seeing of course Jim Calhoun, who built this place. So it's always nice to see him, and Geno as well. It was super cool to have Geno along with us too. That was awesome. And then players wise, I really think all of them were super cool. I mean, fanboying with Ray Allen because I'm a diehard Celtics
Yeah.
fan. Seeing him a little, Emeka was super cool to see again. I mean, everyone knows my family's big on academics, so
Yeah.
and he was big on academics too. So it was cool to talk to him. And then Rudy Gay was awesome. The highlights he put on at UConn were amazing. So it was just super cool to see him. And then Rip Hamilton as well, really one of the first UConn legends as well. So, and of course, Kemba, I saw him. I thought that shot right away. So it was amazing just to see them in their support.
I think it's really cool when you mention Geno and him being along for the trip. What's it been like getting to meet and interact with him? Because it seems like, just from some of the clips that have gone out on social media, I'm not sure I've ever seen him so active with the men's team before, where, whether he's got his arm around Adama, he's talking with you guys. What's that, building that relationship, and what's that been like, getting to know him a little bit?
It's awesome. I mean, he's the GOAT. I mean, he won 11 rings, so it's awesome to hear his experience about it, of like his runs, and just really just him wanting to really get to know us better and build that relationship, which is awesome and super special to us. And it's just been amazing to see him. Just having him talk to us is like super cool too, and like you want to learn from the best, and he's clearly one of the best. So just taking in all the information that he gives us, and he told me, it's cool to win one, but you got to get another one now. So I got to listen to him and do that.
Yeah, pressure's on. One thing that's kind of nice when these games get to be within a pretty comfortable margin there, the broadcast starts to dip into their fun facts about the guys on the team. And we learned about you being a swimmer. I don't think people knew that before. So tell us a little bit about your swimming career.
No one knew that before, but Jim Nance asked, so I had to tell him.
How did that come to be? Were you like talking with him before and he's like asking for stuff about you?
Yeah, he was asking some stuff about me, and like he kind of was like, "How do you get to this point?" So I told him, "Well, I was first a swimmer. So I was a swimmer, competitive swimmer, and like really growing up. So I'd swim for this swim club. We would have championship meets in Boston University. I finished second. I'm still mad about that, honestly. And then, so I finished second, but yeah, my mom, she was a swimmer when she was younger growing up, so she really wanted to put her kids into swimming. So I started swimming. I was great, elite actually, elite at the freestyle and the butterfly. So those were my two main swimming things. I forget the words already, but the swimming techniques. And then
Yeah.
I do those. I won a lot of medals. I set some records at the Wayside Waves. My mom says that's the reason why I have long arms from swimming against the resistible water. And then I think and then I would also play basketball on the side of everything too. And I think I just started, I was always taller than everyone too. So I started liking basketball more and more to where I gave up on my great swimming career. So, could have been the next Michael Phelps, but you know, I'm
You could.
I won't make a comeback though. I'm retired from that.
There's a lot of talk on the broadcast and the articles that come out on this team and some of the differences that had changed. And it seemed that to part of it talk about, from Coach Hurley's perspective about how he seemed to take a different path with refs during the second half of the season. Was that something you guys are able to notice from the bench?
Yeah, you definitely notice it. He doesn't yell as much, but if he is gonna yell at them, he'll still get his message to them, but then say a joke to them after or something. I really noticed that too because it was the game. It was the we were walking in for the game for Miami, and some NCAA dude hands coach the paper with the refs, who the refs are. He says, "No, I don't want to give it to Kamani." So he's passing it over to Coach Luke, and then Coach Luke gives it to Coach Tom, and they don't know what to do with it. They don't want to give it to Hurley yet. So yeah, so I think it really shows. I think Coach Hurley doesn't know who the refs are until he literally
So he
walks on.
gets it. um, as we now look to the off season, what do you get? You get a little bit of time off now, kind of get to step back from things before you start thinking about next year. What's that like now?
Yeah, definitely need some time off. I'm taking some time off, maybe one more day, hopefully, maybe one more day. Then I'll get back to some light shooting and stuff. But it was a long season, and just really trying to reflect on everything we did as a team, and it's it's an unbelievable season, one of the greatest seasons ever. So,
Yeah.
just gotta really just take it in, enjoy it, and then I think when we start spring workouts back up, we might still remember this season, but I think that's going to be the turning page to where we got to get better and start prepping for next season.
As you head towards the off season and start thinking about your game, what's a thing or two that you're kind of focusing on heading into next year?
Yeah, I'd definitely say for an offensive standpoint, try to increase my ball handling, just try to do a little bit more off the bounce. So then definitely post play. I want to post up smaller dudes, play out the mid range a little, just face up in the post, be stronger around the basket, finishing as well. And then defensively, of course, just continue to improve defensively, get quicker, laterally quicker. And then weight room, just get a lot stronger, work on my core, work on just really the strength and power of everything, and try to improve my mobility and athleticism. So in short, really everything based on that.
When you're in that at the end in the celebration, you see that they name Adama most outstanding player. What's going through your head? Because it seems like he's just out there having fun, just keeping everyone light. What's it like seeing a guy like him who also just seems to be a really hard worker, get to get an accolade like that at such a big stage?
It's awesome. It puts a smile to my face. I mean, he deserves it the most. And I mean, just to add on that he did this during Ramadan too, made
Yeah.
it 10 times, 1,000 times more impressive. And like you said, he's a hard worker. He set the standard on how hard you got to work in this program to win and to really get the accolades that you may want individually. And he set that. So just seeing how hard he worked really made me want to push and work harder. And then just how he carried himself off the court too. I mean, everywhere you go, you see a smile on his face. You're seeing him say hi to everyone. You're seeing him joke around with everyone, and that he just has such a loving personality that you want to be around and just be with. So he's a special person. He wants to get to know everyone. He connects with everyone. And then him as a leader on the basketball court too, he's really grown into that. And he's the perfect center for me to play with for my first year. I've learned so much from him. He helped me a lot. He helped put a lot of pressure off me, helped me defensively and offensively. So he really is the perfect teammate in a sense.
I know it's hard to know much with who may or may not be coming back. You've got a great recruiting class coming in. Give everyone a little bit of a tease though for what they can expect from you guys next year.
Yeah, next year I think we're gonna leave right where we left off. We want to go back to back, and we think that is more than capable of doing it. I mean, we're gonna have hope. I don't know who's coming back yet, but we're gonna have some great core pieces coming back. No matter who comes back, they have championship experience now, so they know the hard work. They know what it takes to get to this point. And then, of course, the freshmen that are coming in. I mean, they're all highly valued. They're all tremendous players, great kids as well. So I think the summer is going to really help them learn the Coach Hurley system. The freshmen are going to really learn what it's like to play at UConn, and then really just try to show them the standard to where this is what we did last year. We really want to go back to back. So this team's going to be special, I think, next year as well.
Awesome. Well, Alex, I really appreciate you coming on all season long. I know the fans have loved it, given some really cool insight into what things have been like for you and the team. And it's just been a really fun season for everyone here. So thank you so much for doing this throughout the season. And I've got to say, I know we talked about, revealing what Coach Hurley drinks on the sideline, and he spoiled it for us. He went on part of my take and gave it away. So by the next time we talk, I need you to think of something that we don't know about, either him, the team, something. And I'll give you time. You don't have to do anything now, but we need something of that caliber of mystery revealed, or something we don't know.
Some UConn men's basketball secrets.
Yeah.
I can think of a couple. I got you guys.
All right. So stew on that. So we have something to talk about next time we chat. But again, thank you so much. I know I really enjoyed doing this. Hope you did too. And it brought us good luck this year. So if it's like the beard or Coach Hurley's underwear, we'll make sure we're doing it again next year.
Definitely. This was a blast to do. Definitely found a nice little hobby in podcasting in a sense. So it was super fun, and I definitely enjoyed being able to connect with the UConn fans. So this was a blast for me.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear it. Well, Alex, national champion, keep wearing that hat, the net, and thanks so much for everything this year.
Thank you.